Well, hello everyone. How's everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I am doing great. Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, I have a new camera set up, so I'm hoping that this is going to be a good angle and all that kind of good stuff. Hope there's not going to be too much harsh light or harsh shadows, lighting, and all that kind of stuff. So if there is, please forgive me. I will try to work on it. But by my monitor, my little bitty screen I have up here, it looks like everything is looking okay. So, but time will only tell when I start to edit the video. So, but I wanted to go ahead and do a video for today. And I have a cute little idea. It's kind of a mishmash of a lot of different ideas that I've seen on Pinterest. And Amanda and I also did this, oh my, when she was quite small. We used little baby jars and we took some fall color tissue paper and ripped it up and just Mod Podged it on it, and you could put a little votive candle in it. It was so cute. So this is kind of an homage to that. However, I'm going to take it up a notch. So let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need a jar. I have one of these big jars. I actually drank my coffee out of these, and I love it because there's plenty of room. Sometimes I drink my water out of them. So these are really fun to have. You can get them at Walmart, you know, a whole set of them. Pretty cheap, like $9 for 12 of them, I think. But they're the longer ones. You don't have to have the big mouth, and you don't have to have them this big. You can use the shorter ones. You can use whatever jar you have available. You don't even have to use a mason jar, but that's what I'm using. Now, y'all, we're going to be doing some experimentation because I can't quite decide how I want to do this. So I'm going to play, and I want you to join me in my playing because you know how I like to do that. So I've also used my scan and cut out the word in vinyl thankful to go onto the jar. I will have this file for this. I'm hoping I can put it on Facebook in my Facebook group in case you want to download it yourself for your Cricut machine. I'm pretty sure it will be compatible with Cricut or the scan and cut, you know. So I'll have that available. Hopefully I can get it on my Facebook group. I also have some of the tissue paper that I've used before in my other videos. The Dina Wakley, is that what it is? Yes, the Dina Wakley Media, the collage paper. So I've got a couple of sheets of that out. I've got just some stamps that are autumn themed, that are Thanksgiving themed. I have those as well. I have a piece of foam because we are going to be stamping, and I want it to be squishy. I have this stencil from Folk Art that has different leaves on it, different autumn leaves on it. Oh, so cute. I think I got this off of Walmart.com. It wasn't in the store, but it was on their website, but that's been a couple of years ago. So I do have that. I have some just doodadders here that are autumn. They're kind of tangled together right now, but so I've got a couple of these just for embellishments. And I've also got some raffia. Is that how you pronounce that? And I also have my distressed inks in greens, browns, oranges, yellows, and reds. My thought was I'm going to experiment with making my own tissue paper with the Dina Wakley collage paper. So I wanted to play with the watercolor crayons first just to see how they would work. And the first thing that I did, as you see, I am putting the markers on the paper itself, and I did a no-no again. I put that red next to the green. Even though I knew it would make brown, it turned out, as you see, very muddy and very, very wet. This was way too wet. for it to work, I was afraid it was going to rip the paper. So then I moved on to another technique where I'll put the colors on my mat here. This is just an oven protector liner that I got at Walmart for like $8. It works perfect for these types of things. Wet it with water, just barely, and as you see, it didn't make a good imprint. So I just put way more water on it, put it on, and it worked. It looked really vibrant. I really, really loved the way that this came out. So the crayons definitely worked. Again, this was an experimentation to see which I would like the best. Would I like crayons the best? Would I like Indian ink the best? Would I like the distressed inks the best? So now I'm moving on to the Indian inks. Now when these are wet, they are water-based. You know, like I put a little bit of Indian ink with a little bit of water, and you can work with them. But once they're dry, they are permanent. And we want, with our stamping, because I planned on put some stamps onto this paper, I'm making it more like this is a mixed media type situation, right? Where I'm making a background first and then I'm going to stamp. So alcohol ink is what I'm going to use for my stamping. With this, I wanted though still to try to make it where I didn't use too much water-based stuff, because I knew when I used the Mod Podge, it would end up moving the colors around. So I thought Indian ink would work perfect for this, but as you can see, it turned out way too muted. It's very pretty. I liked the colors of this, but it just is not screaming autumn, and it is just not working for me. So I end up scrapping the idea of using the Indian ink, which kind of bummed me out because, again, I wanted something more permanent. So then I went to the tried and true, just using the distressed inks with putting them on the mat, wetting them with water to activate them. So I'm using every color that I have, and I'm trying to remember not to put the red next to the green, so I didn't want it to get muddy. It's very hard to see what I'm doing until I put the water on it. And then, I mean, this is a tried and true technique. I've used it many times, and it worked just as I figured it would. It worked pretty well. And the best thing too about this technique and the Indian inks as well is you can layer. Like, you can let it dry and you just can keep layering your colors. But again, my fear with using the distressed inks, because they're water-based, I was afraid that the Mod Podge would make it smear more than what I wanted it to. And here I'm just showing that yes, you can layer this. It was dried, and I went ahead and put more red where I thought red should go. And now I'm deciding which do I want to use, because I did like the crayon look, but when I put it with the jar, the crayons just seemed a little too cartoonish. Even though I love the vibrancy of it, it just wasn't what I was going for. But then I got the great idea. I do like the colors of the crayons, so why don't I use those, dilute them with water, and do some splatters with them onto the distressed inks. And that worked out beautifully. I loved the way it worked. Here I'm showing just where I'm doing some stamping. I'm just using the stamps, that I had, and just using, again, the alcohol inks, because if you use distressed inks on this, it will smear. So there is what my tissue paper looked like when I'm done with it. I think it turned out so cute and so pretty. And here's the boring part about doing this: tearing the papers up and then putting it on the Mod, putting Mod Podge and putting it on. I just was watching a video when I did this, so it was no big deal. But I will say, when I was using the Mod Podge on it, it did indeed smear some of the colors around, but not too much to be worrisome about it. I let it dry overnight. I wanted it good and dried because I knew I was going to put paint on it with the stencil. So here I'm just placing the stencil, and I am using tape, and because this is cylinder, it was kind of a little, you know, funky, but I got it on there well enough. I'm mixing milk chocolate with burnt umber, and I probably should have just went with straight burnt umber because I did want it dark, and I was just afraid the burnt umber might be too dark, but after mixing it and using it, burnt umber probably would have been the better way to go. But I just mix it up, and then I use a stencil brush and I carefully stencil it on there, and it ended up working perfectly. Now I'm taking my vinyl that I did and just putting it onto the jar. Once again, because it's cylinder, it's kind of hard. Plus, there are little, you know, bumps and stuff from wording and things on there. So it was a little difficult to get it on, but I finagled it, I rustled it, and I got it onto the jar. No problem at all to do it. So I think it turned out really cute. I wish I had really cute handwriting like some people and be able to do it by hand, but my handwriting is horrible. So, but it came out too cute. I really, really, really liked it. And I'm just making sure I'm burnishing it down a little bit more just to make sure that it stays onto the jar. And now I'm just embellishing it with the raffia, and I'm using some of the little sprigs that I had and hot glue to glue them on to the jar, and it will be done, finished. And then I will put a little bit of twinkle lights in it from the dollar store just to give you an idea of what it would look like if you put lights in it. I think this turned out really cute. It was fun. It was fast. And I highly recommend it to do. I mean, I think it'd be cute for a wedding. Put Mr. and Mrs. maybe instead of thankful. It's just so versatile, and I really had a fun time doing this. I hope you had a fun time watching. And if you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. That's just going to help my channel, and I would truly, truly appreciate it. I finally made it to over 4,000 subscribers. I had been stuck at 3,995 for over a year. So thank you, thank you, thank you for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Y'all be good to one another, and, you know, I'll talk to you later. All right, y'all. Bye.